a lot of guys, maybe they go out and they do soil samples maybe once every 2 to 3 years or something like that. Hey, David, you have an agronomist that you work with.
Yeah.
You can give him a shout out if you want to hear this video. But I wanted you to talk a little bit about what your system is for tissue sampling, because I think that drives a lot of, well, that and the ratios. I think maybe you could talk about both of those things. That sort of drives your decision-making process during the season and like pre-planning.
Well, you know, whether it's soil or tissue, that's just a snapshot of what's going on. Because, you know, soils change from month to month, climate, the biological life is changing what's available. So we are big into soil samples. We've gone to grid soil sample. And now we've kind of just used the grid soil sample, and then we start basing on crop removals. As we see our yield monitors and the yield maps, we realize, hey, we had to have reduced their fertility by a certain amount. Then we go in and invariably apply based on that. But in season, we've got to where every Monday morning, I'm going to pull 5 tissue samples.
Every week?
Every Monday morning from the time the corn has its first true leaf. We'll go out there, irrigated one at home, dry land one at the home farm. I drive to the western farm but stop in the middle and pick up dry land corn sample. And then I go to the western farm where we got irrigated dry land, and I'll pull one from each of those. Now, we do have a system that we do that. We pull out of the same row from week to week, because you can get some variability in the amount of fertilizer that particular row put out. And we do that from the time that we get the first true leaf till black layer. And with that annual and weekly sample, we've generated a lot of data. And we have agronomists, you mentioned, Paul Bodenstein. Man, I'm just glad to be around him, because he has forgotten more about growing corn than I know.
Sure.
But he has been pulling tissue samples since the 70s, and he's just got this big database. And most people say, well, I got a tissue sample, I got a low level here, and I got a high level here. I don't even care about that, because I'm looking at balance. So get the samples, you know, we give them to the lab by 10 o'clock in the morning. We have the results the next day. Paul gets them, enters them in the computer, and he starts looking at ratios, whether it's sulfur to nitrogen, phosphorus to zinc, you know, whatever ratios we were looking at. And then we come out with a plan. Say, okay, we realize, hey, we have a limiting factor here, and then we'll address it. And we also, with that annual tissue sampling, we realize when there are going to be sinks, when the crop's really going to start removing certain nutrients, and we got to be proactive if we're going to try to really pick up the yields.
Get in front of it.
Because if you get behind, you can't fix some of those, because the corn plant has had a bad day. So now yields have been limited to what they potentially could have been.
Okay, which brings up an interesting way that David sort of looks at things is, and there's probably several guys out there look at things the same way, is that, you know, you never have as much potential in your corn crop as that day that you like open the bag, I guess. And so David tends to look at things, I don't want to take all the words out of your mouth, but as far as limiting losses, and off of basically the genetic potential of the corn.